I sell a lot of these crushed glass Christmas trees at fall and winter craft shows, but this is my very first year adding lights, and hiding the ugly wires in the back is kind of a challenge, but I think I might have it figured out. Follow along on the video and see how I do it. See, on my other one, I want the bulbs to be flush with the back, but then they stick out too much in the front. I want the tops to be flush too, so I thought by doubling up on the board, I'd be able to do that. Because they're about, I don't know, I think this is actually going to be perfect. See? So that's going to be perfect. I've just taken 2 fence boards, same size, cut them to the same size, sanded, cleaned them, and I just attached them together with brad nails. So we have to drill holes to make the lights fit. I just have a piece of wood underneath so that when I drill through, the bit is not going into my workspace. So I need to leave room at the top for a star, and the bottom is going to be about right here. So this, I'm just sketching it out. Probably should use a pencil, but that'll kind of be my guide. It's roughly the center. Okay. I think there's 20. Yeah, there's 20 lights. So I'm going to push through the back side. Actually, this is the back side. There we go. And I want it just flush with the board. I've used a staple gun before, but it pinches the wire. So I don't want to do that. I'm going to just tape down each piece with a little piece of painter's tape. And this is also going to help the resin to, not drip through the holes. Oh my goodness. This is very, very ugly. Definitely going to cover the back just for aesthetics. But it'll be fine. It will be fine. Because you're not going to see the front, right? I mean, you're not going to see the back, you're going to see the front. So, much better. If I were making this for myself, I probably would just leave this like that, but I want to sell it. So, I'm going to cover this. And I'm just going to use a piece of cardstock just to cover the wires up, because I just don't like that. And it's securing the wire, but I just don't like the way it looks. I just think it looks sloppy. So I'm just using this old piece of cardstock, and I'm gonna hot glue it. Actually, just found some Christmas paper. Yeah, that'll work. So that way I can cover the whole back. Try to cut a straight edge this time. Much better. Okay. You see that? I'm just gonna clean that edge up. I don't want the tape poking out. Since I'm going through this effort, I don't want the ugly tape poking out. There we go. All right. So now I'm gonna resin, I was thinking about using this rock that I found at the beach. It's actually a hagstone, has holes all the way through it, and it's just kind of fun. Just something a little bit different. I think I'm going to use that. I'm going to go ahead and hot glue it just to keep it from shifting. And then I'm going to resin around it. Oh man, you know what I didn't do? I did not seal this board. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. It's going to prevent the resin from just soaking all into the wood. And it'll prevent any darkening. So if we get any resin drips at all on other parts of the board, like here where I don't want it, it's going to prevent that darkening. And I totally forgot to do this before I drilled my holes and attached my lights. But that's okay. That's okay. I can actually go to the next step without waiting for it to dry. You don't need very much at all. You just need enough to seal that wood, just like that. Okay? Okay. I'm going to go ahead and seal the holes with some clear tacky glue. Just right around. Just like that. And that's going to give us a barrier to plug up those holes. And that's going to prevent the resin from seeping down in there. It's not going to be a perfect seal, but it's going to give us somewhat of a barrier. I suppose I could use Mod Podge too, but this Aleene's is a little bit thicker than Mod Podge, and it just works a little bit better. I think it's going to seal the hole just fine. And see, still lets the light shine through. Okay, so I already have my glass crushed, and I'll put a link to the video on how I crush my glass and what I use. This is just recycled beer bottles and recycled wine bottles. A little piece of green down there. I'm just using white because I think the white contrasted with the blue bulbs would look really, really nice. And then I'm going to use a stick to kind of guide my glass here. So the glass itself is not really sharp. If it was, I would not be handling it. And, you know, every once in a while, I might get a little sliver. If you want to wear gloves, by all means, wear gloves. But I do not care to wear gloves to do this. So, you know, that's just my personal preference. That is just my preference. I'm going to load it up. I like using the stick because I can kind of shove the glass where I need it. I need some more down here. I don't want the really fine glass. So see that fine, fine, fine dusty stuff? I don't want that. I want a little bit more of the chunky, but not the huge pieces like this one. Like, I do not want this one, and probably not that one either. I have a plan for those. And I could also retumble it if I want to. Or not tumble it, recrush it. Ooh, there's a piece of paper. I did try to get all of the paper off this time. I want it around the base just a little bit. Okay, I think that's what I want. Kind of rearrange a little bit. I feel like I'm a little heavy right here. All right, and I've already mixed up 30 milliliters of KS resin liquidy split. I have a link in the description below to a discount code that you can use to get a discount, and then I get a small commission. So I'm going to go on the edges first just to make sure that I have enough on the edges. And I'm going to do one side at a time, so then that way I know I've hit every little piece. Because if you go all willy-nilly, you might forget what you've done, which I've done before. So you don't necessarily have to drench it. This is actually going to seep down in between the pieces of glass, and it's going to glue everything together. It's going to glue the glass to the wood. 30 milliliters is plenty, believe it or not. So, well, let me back up. 30 milliliters is perfect for this size of a tree. If you have a tree that's a little bit bigger, you might want a little bit more. If you have a smaller tree, then you would want less. All right, so I'm gonna leave that, and I think the hot glue worked just fine for that, but I need a star. I need a star for the top. So I'm gonna use one of my Amazon stars. I don't want a great big one. I need a little bit smaller because I didn't really leave that much at the top. Like maybe that. Oh. And all I'm going to do is put a little bit on the back and use this like glue. Like that. That's going to be perfect. I think there's a piece of green in there. I did not see that. Can I get that out? Okay. Go ahead and use the rest of this. When you're using white glass or clear glass, if you have a thin layer of it down, the resin will kind of wash it out almost. It just it's kind of hard to describe. It just makes it really translucent. So if you find that the glass is just really, you can't really see it anymore, you can take a little bit of the finer crushed glass and just kind of sprinkle it on, and it's going to stick to the surface resin. It's almost like, it almost looks like snow, but that makes the glass visible again. I hope I'm making sense, but it just, you'll be able to see it because the glass is clear and then the resin is clear. So see how it's picking up? You can see the glass again. There's another piece of green. All right, so that is all I'm gonna do. And it's so pretty, it's frosty. I'm probably putting a little bit more than I need to have on here right now, but we can shake off any excess resin. I really like the depth of this. There's another piece of green, daggone it. I really like the depth of having a thicker layer of resin. All right, so I'm gonna let it go. I'm just gonna let it go and we're gonna come back. I'm not gonna turn the lights on yet because I want you to see. All right, so I am so happy how this turned out. I did shake off a couple pieces of loose glass. That's not unusual. Here's another one. But look at how cute this one is. And of course, we need, even without the lights, it's adorable. But what we've all been waiting for. 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! Yeah, really, really cute. Probably going to sell this one for around $30. This is 16 inches long. And, you know, a lot of work goes into making one with lights. So probably 30, 35. My other trees without lights go between 20 and 25, just depending on the size and how much detail is in them. But, yeah, really loving it. Even without the lights. But I like the lights better. Let's look at it without my studio light on. That's gonna look really good at night, just in an entryway, hallway. Love it. All right, make it a crafty day, friends.